I hope we are live. Yeah, so we are kind of live. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, hi everyone. Very good evening for this next session related to education abroad. Along with me today, I have Sanesh, who did his bachelor's and one master's in Bombay, and then thereafter he moved to UK. So, welcome, Shanesh. Thank you for taking out time for this session. And I was just
Thank you for
chatting
having
with.
me.
Okay, thanks. So I was just chatting with Shanish. It's pretty cold out there in UK. So Sanish, if you could just tell us about the audience as well as whoever is listening to this session. What was your motivation to pursue an academic program outside? What led you to it? And then what was the process which you followed in narrowing down a university?
So, like when I was in school, I always liked learning, and the way things have been taught to you ever since you leave school makes a big difference. So, when I was in my say junior college at my 11th and 12th standard, uh, unfortunately, I one of the teachers I had was really bad at what he was doing, and it was one of my favorite subjects, mathematics. And ever since then, I was looking for not good lessons but good teachers. And then when I got to hear from my uncle studied abroad in Guildford Surrey University in UK. So when I asked my set of questions about teaching and stuff like this. So he was like, you should try this and that. And ever since I was like doing my bachelor's, fortunately bachelor's was a good set of teachers I had. And I had this thought in my mind like I should try the teachers abroad and got lessons online for some like small stuff, not much. But because I had this idea of going abroad and studying, and when I started to grow up, like I had my first job as a web developer. And when I got to know like abroad pays really really well, so I was like that's the second reason I got. So I started looking universities online. So first, what I did was anyone who wants to do a master's abroad, any course, like taught course, they go for an advice. So they would like walk into an agency where they tell you things about, oh, this university is great, that university is great. But personal opinion, I researched my universities by myself. So for example, if you I did data science, so I would look for top universities uh, in data science, and my personal choice was coming to UK. So I researched universities and courses which are good in UK. So that's how I did. But one drawback of the agencies we go through is they have this deals with universities they provide. So it's kind of biased, I would say. Like if we go and ask the agencies what things should I look for in a university, they would just completely suggest something else rather than what you want. So I would suggest, if you're not completely sure as a new student coming to some abroad country to study or do some courses, you should do your own research and then take an advice. So that would have a comparison with you. You will know what's like common in both of the opinions, in your personal opinion and the agency's opinion, so you can make a good choice rather than just doing by yourself or just doing being completely dependent upon the universe that sorry the agency, kind of like
Okay.
that.
Okay, great. So as you mentioned that you had a family member, extended family member who had already pursued an academic program outside. So that was one motivation as far as identifying a location is concerned. But you have done your bachelor's in computer, master's is also in computers. How did you
Yeah.
narrow down to data as a course? And what all factors led you to your acceptance at this particular university? What all maybe, let's say, different elements which one has to keep in mind while applying
Mhm.
for the universities?
So first thing I would suggest, it may be my personal opinion, but some people may not agree. When you're looking to go abroad to study, like first thing I've noticed people here, their first motivation is not to like study, but just get the experience, which is not good. So if you're planning on studying somewhere, studying should be your first priority. And then, according to your capabilities of studying, like I wouldn't say someone's smart, someone's not, but everyone has a different level of intelligence they would go through. Like for example, courses, someone is smart in commerce, someone's smart in science, someone's smart in management. So you should pick your course accordingly, because the difference between the what can I say? The difference between the amount of things that are taught throughout the year in India was different than here. Like in India, you would have the same amount, but for example, if you have given a course and few assignments and some homework, you need to finish by the end of the month. So in India, what my experience was, my professor would ask me at the end of the month, "Have you done it?" Whereas here I've seen we have completed assignments each week, so we wouldn't have been burdened with all the tasks at the end of the month. So that's a good difference between my Indian learning and here. So first priority should be studying all the time. And sorry, what was your second question?
Okay, so the main question was which all, let's say, components were there in your application process? So apart from the application form, let's say the SOP or maybe recommendation
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah. So two things they require here in UK is, one is SOP, statement of purpose, in which we should mention why we want to study, like the course we are doing. For example, someone's doing a master, they why they are motivated to do a master after doing a bachelor's degree, or say doing some years of work in industry, and then also why the particular university and why the particular course, which helps the university because thousands of people enroll for the admissions, and having a good motivation behind you helps the teachers or the administration to select you as a student in their university. So that's a big help. Second is your IELTS score. So IELTS is generally overall UK, it's seven. A pointer of seven is a good mark, and that's what they accept. Some universities would go 6.5, but I would say seven is a good mark. So IELTS and SOP is must, and if you have a good ratio of grades in your bachelor's degree, or say your school and everything has been consistent, that's a good indicator you'll get into a university really quick.
okay. So one of the components of, which you mentioned also initially in terms of evaluation, the kind of differences which you observed between the Indian, let's say, evaluation and then in UK. What other factors did you found out different between, let's say, the Indian education and then you did your studies in UK?
So according to like the difficulty of the program, I would say it's not much difference, but the fact that you as a student are completely engaged in a course throughout the time period, like from the beginning to till the end. Like I was given assignments from first week of my university, so they try to keep you engaged, so you're not like the like you get your attention is not in some other places while studying, so you get focused on just your studies. Not just like there's a good social life here as well. In university they have societies to keep you engaged with social interactions as well. So I wouldn't say it's much different, but the part that the engagement part is that's my best part, I would say.
Okay, okay. One of the most important factors also when people go study outside is the meeting the expenses of the education as well as the living expenses. So,
Yeah.
what had been your observations? So what kind of, let's say, avenues are available through which maybe in case students get some scholarship, in case they don't get it, what are other avenues available through which maybe partially or to certain extent a
Mhm.
person could meet the expenses of the program?
So first, I would say there's a bursary thing which we can enroll for, or if we have really good grades while enrolling to an course, we get that scholarship. I got something somewhere around like 3 lakh Indian rupees as a scholarship. That was a good addition for my expenses. And for example, if you want to pay off your living expense, like work somewhere, there's multiple options here to work as a student. I would suggest to be an assistant lecturer, which a master's student are eligible by itself. If they are doing a master's, they are eligible to work as an assistant lecturer. There's some, you can also be a student administrator. Like there are societies which let you do the administration work as a student and doesn't distract you from studies, so you're in the university working for university while studying yourself. So that these are two good options for working, and they pay you more than the minimum wage, so you don't have to do crazy hours to keep your living expenses in check. And if you want to go further, there are multiple options available. Let's say, for example, if you're living in a city, there are options for students to work as like in the cafes and the restaurants. Like there's multiple options, I would say.
Okay, okay. Other than this academic engagement, you also mentioned briefly, you touched upon the so-called engagement with other activities in terms of the student bodies. So, what are different avenues available to immerse oneself in, let's say, an overseas education experience? And what are maybe, let's say, stages, things which students should, I would say, proactively do to make most out of these experiences?
So I was enrolled in few societies,
Okay.
which allows you to experience different types of things. And the good thing about these societies is even there are like 20 plus societies, they schedule it so well. You can even if you're enrolled in like all the 20 societies, you still get to experience all of them. But I
Oh,
wouldn't recommend that because then you wouldn't have any rest or sleep for that matter. So I like photography, and I was enrolled into the photography society. There are much more than that. There's like tourism. There's like we also have a dedicated Indian society, so to speak, which celebrates all the Indian festivals. Even if there's like even like a small day, a small festival or a big festival, as Diwali's coming soon, and they have planned like booked a big auditorium. There's dances, there's food like buffets and everything. So the societies help you stay connected to your culture as well. So not just Indian society, there's much other societies. If you want to experience culture from say some African countries or some European countries, there are societies related to those particular countries as well. Then there's activities societies, for example, watching movies, going on tracks, photography, having beach days. So these are all the societies that there are. Like it's fun, it's good experience. You get to experience so much different things, which is really, really nice.
okay, wonderful. Now, given the, let's say, people pursuing academic programs, some cases people do bachelor's to maybe experience masters, maybe to get into research or maybe, let's say, other kind of job opportunity. So, how have you seen, let's say, job prospects, maybe kind of efforts or maybe kind of strategies which candidates should apply in order to maybe, let's say, get good internship or jobs?
So internships are provided not throughout the year, but only during holidays. So say winter break or summer breaks. So for a student to get into an internship, they would have to apply as like a month prior. I would say before going to summer. Some students also just start applying when they enroll to a university to make sure they have a seat and in an internship before they get on with their holidays. And if we're talking about and it's a internships are available in good amount. You could get an internship easily if you're highly motivated for what you're doing, and you got good knowledge about your courses. Sorry. About jobs, I have experienced like people with experienced people, I would say, get jobs easily because they know the pathway to apply to a job, or say like, have experience about what they do. And for students, like just fresh students, bachelors or masters, if they don't have any work experience, I would suggest to enroll for a graduate role before completing your university, which because the graduate role takes about 2 months to 3 months to complete the whole process from applying to a graduate role to starting work. So my personal suggestion would be applying at least 3 months before you finish your university to the graduate roles.
Okay.
That's a big help, I would
Okay,
say.
great. So now we are at the end of the session. So based on your experiences so far, so you completed a couple of months ago your academic program, almost a year ago. So what are the maybe let's say three, four things which anyone who goes for let's say an overseas academic experience they should keep in mind in order to make most out of their experiences. Maybe two, three suggestions kind of summary also.
Uh, uh, let's see. So because it's a new experience, like coming abroad, doing everything by yourself, engaging with your studies, your social life, then your work life. It's a lot of things to do. So my first suggestion would be keeping a note of everything you do, like scheduling things. That helps you a lot because, say, example, you're stressed out studying, you have an exam to do, you have an assignment due, so you forget all the other things. So having a note of things to do helps a lot, so you don't miss anything. You're never due on your assignments. You complete your dissertation on time, doesn't matter if it's like 20,000 words or whatever. So yeah, scheduling things really help. Plus I would say socializing helps as well. Like networking and socializing go hand in hand. If you socialize, you'll know who's doing what course, who had experience in what field, and sometimes you'll get people from your own field, like your seniors, where you are chilling with them, and they also give you life advice, like jokingly, and you would realize like 10 minutes later, oh, that guy said something really helpful, and you wouldn't even notice his. So scheduling and socializing, I'd say, maybe like the two top points of my list.
Okay, okay, okay. So thanks, Anish, for sharing your insights
No problem.
and different strategies as well as different stages which are there in the application process and importance of rather than just relying on consultants, also doing one's own homework in order to get more feel of the course which a person is ultimately going to apply. So
Hmm.
thanks a lot, and a pleasure connecting. And then everyone who is listening, a very happy Holi, sorry, Deepavali. Very
Hmm.
happy Deepavali. I think it's tomorrow itself, or usually it extends to 2 days also, depending upon the festive mood of the individuals. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Sanish.
No problem. Thanks for having me.